It's 5:17 on our Monday drive. We just heard the Queen Bee and Miss Miley with their oh-so-popular duet. But right now, it's time for our monthly Vision Talk chat. And joining me here on the second Monday in June, of course, is our favorite rehab specialist from Beacon House, Theresa McMordie. Theresa, good to have you here, hon. How's it going?
Oh, it's going really well. Thank you.
Yeah, I know you're busy, like run off your feet all the time. So here's hoping that we've got lots of great things to talk about with, of course, the reopening of Beacon House and all the great things going on there. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good to have you here. We're going to chat for about a half hour now, and we've got a lot to cover. So what's the first thing we want to let our listeners know about with your wonderful new facility there, doing what you do?
Well, yes. Hi. Hello, everybody. Thank you for listening. Well, first of all, I think I want to just thank everybody for their patience so far, because I was busy on Ireland before we moved into Beacon House. But
now you're even more busy.
I'm even more busy, yeah. So, if anybody of my clients are listening and I haven't returned your phone call, straight away.
We know why.
Like that, I apologise, yeah. But hopefully they will know that I do get back to them at some point.
Sure.
But what I'm excited about lots of things that we're bringing to Vision Bermuda and our home, Beacon House. The first thing is we've had in May, launched our first low vision clinic.
Okay.
Which is I'm holding on the second Tuesday of every month.
Okay, and what does that involve?
Appointment. And that involves looking at magnification, lighting, glare, anything for low vision.
Gotcha.
And you can come in, and we have some equipment. I'm still going to be ordering a little bit more, but magnifiers, electronic equipment,
sure.
All aids really to support reading. So I've got a fantastic light that I really love. Which has all different shades of colour in it, so that's really nice.
Because for some folk, where they're dealing with various reasons for low vision, it might be, eye floaters, cataracts, whatever. It could be a progressive sight that they're dealing with, sight loss. And sometimes the I guess the hue of the light or the warmth or whether it's halogen style or incandescent, would the various different types of light make it either difficult or more easier to see things. So is it about finding the right one sometimes? Like you don't know with why, your sort of yellow old-fashioned light bulb, you're fine with, but then when those bright lights come on, it's worse. And that's counterintuitive, so.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the other thing that I have that I use as well is I actually bought them years ago. They're for children that I supported with dyslexia.
Gotcha.
But they're the colour films that go over books and things, and that can really help. The right lighting and a colour film can
with the
really
contrast.
pop the letters.
Yes. Okay, gotcha.
So I have all that in my clinic, which was difficult to take around to people's houses. So I would suggest that anybody that I've done a low vision assessment within their home, if you wanted to come to our centre, then you would have more variety of things. So I just couldn't carry everything around all the time. And the other thing is we have some anti-glare glasses, which are all different shades. I've got about 6 different colours and 3 different shades within those.
Sure.
And that, again, helps. And you might find that the glare inside, you might want a different pair for outside, particularly with our bright sun now. But also, if you've already had some from me, and the weather changes, as in the light or the darker days, then you might find that a different colour support you for there. Sure. So I've had clients in the past that have had 2 or 3 different pairs for different situations. So all of those are now on display.
I found, just being a person who wears glasses so often, and I don't have prescription shades, which I should do something about for sure. But I did a little bit of work up at Sale GP, and it was the sand and the surface we were on is really white, chalky almost, and I had my hat pulled down right, and it was a bright sunny day. But I think the worst thing was the reflection of the glare. So even for folks who, don't have vision loss even, or low vision, absolutely. To have anti-glare glasses is probably a good idea.
It really is. And the other thing, I see it on Madge's List quite a lot, people asking where they can get driving glasses from, night drivers, and I have those in stock. But I didn't ever like to say on there that I have them in stock because they were sort of in storage at the time.
Hard to get to and everything. Yes.
Yeah, so that was difficult, but I have those in stock.
Anyone listening right now as you're driving, dreading the fact that you'll have to drive home later with street light glare and all these automobiles with the bright lights that they have now, LED lights being so popular in automobiles, that you can finally get that pair of glasses that's going to make you more comfortable.
And they're really reasonably priced as well, because we're not making any money on them. What we
just
do
wanting
is
to pay for them.
We just
cost
the cost we get them, so they're really good value from us too, but you would need to ring our number on 292-3231 to check whether we're open, because we're a bit short staffed at the moment, and
so you're not always at Beacon House.
Yes, and if I'm out visiting clients in their homes, which is mainly going to be on a Tuesday and Thursday, but if I'm out, then we don't have anybody necessarily at the centre that can support you. So just bearing that in mind as well.
Yeah, when you call and inquire or email and inquire, you can always set up a time to visit, Yeah,
you can. That's the best thing. Email rehab@visionbermuda.bm or volunteer at visionbermuda.bm.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people driving right now that are going to be calling you up tomorrow or Wednesday, because you'll be out and about tomorrow for your Tuesday stuff.
Well, no, so it's the second Tuesday of the month tomorrow, so I'm in for the low vision clinic.
Oh, there you are. You will be in tomorrow. So if you have a minute to pop by Beacon House tomorrow. There you go. Good stuff. Yeah, so that takes place, and folks can inquire, and either is it a drop-by thing, or should they make an appointment?
No, we need to make an appointment, because to do a proper assessment, I leave an hour and a half. You might not want all that time or need all that time, but I don't want you to be rushed. So
for sure,
so those places do get booked up. So please,
book your appointment,
contact us to book an appointment. Yes,
sweet.
And the other thing that I really love is I've started a cooking class. In fact, I've got two going.
I remember us talking about it. Yeah.
Yes, and it's called Let's Cook. And some beautiful fun, particularly the group that are meeting tomorrow on Friday. So it's once a month, depending on what group you're in, what Friday of the month that's in. And we started off, so I'm teaching skills, a different way of doing things. For example, cutting, using the when we were taught it in school, but we don't necessarily use that. The bridge, so cutting in between your finger and your thumb, and spreading. There's a technique for spreading to make sure you don't get lumps and that you cover the whole piece of bread and that sort of thing. So
sandwich making and how to prepare your porridge or whatever are big deals for folks who have done it their whole lives and now are struggling.
So lovely, because one of my clients, because we did sandwich making the first time, because we were looking at spreading and different techniques, and also I wanted the group to gel, so that was important.
And I think you were supposed to get peanut butter and jelly or something. Did that happen?
No, I've got to have that for Friday.
Okay.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Get anything worse. But anyway,
get the good jam. You guys will have a good time, I'm sure.
But they, so on Friday we're making. Oh my goodness! I was going to say banana bread. It's not banana bread.
Gingerbread, I think.
Yes,
someone had a recipe they wanted to bring in.
So
I remember.
We're doing the bake-off. Yes,
it's lovely.
You've got a good memory.
So much fun.
So I've got that to look forward to. And Let's Cook 2 are another group that are following behind now, and I'm almost full on my third cooking group too.
Gotcha.
We have begun. I can't think of the word. Our exercise class on a Wednesday morning, which is really going down a storm. We've got Paul Lambert, who is running that class, and he's doing a fantastic job.
Good fitness trainer, and the thing is,
lovely.
Things like balance and stuff without sight are really important to overcome, and I'm sure he's able to teach them ways to still be able to get movement and therefore burn calories without putting themselves at risk.
Yes, and it's important to say it's actually chair exercises, because when I was first talking to some of my clients about it, that put them off when I was saying exercise. But the minute I said it was chair exercises, sure. Right, okay, I'll come. And they were having a laugh, and they have a ball in that class. That's really, really lovely.
Yeah.
That's taken off, and we may run that twice a week. In the next couple of weeks, once we get a bit more sorted out, we might see if Paul can give us another day on that.
I would imagine that for folks who have been quite active and then have gone down the road of sight loss and now have come to a point where they can't say run anywhere on the road, they've lost that much sight, or those who were into doing a class here and there, it could be quite sort of depressing. It could make you quite down that you don't have that ability anymore. But having anything that brings back the community aspect of it, I think is very good for their peace of mind and for their mental health.
Absolutely.
So that's a lot of fun, I bet. IT classes, is that our Phyllis?
Oh, yes, that's a lovely Phyllis.
She's amazing.
She's doing those, on a Tuesday and Thursday morning.
Okay.
So she's still offering that, and she's talking about at the moment, because her class on a Tuesday and Thursday morning is full, so we're just in discussions at the moment about bringing another class up behind.
Can we just tell our listeners a little bit about folks who are trying to navigate IT and a computer keyboard? Is it about memorizing it in your mind's eye, or is it raised, or is it Braille used? How does that work, so we can let our listeners know a little bit about it?
Well, we're running a program called Talking Typing Teacher.
I see.
And we have accessible keyboards, but for the group that are doing it at the moment, we're using speech.
I see.
So to teach them how to type.
Sure.
And so they're in a program, and it's quite a fun program from what I understand, because I haven't actually done the program, but I've done similar in the past.
Sure.
And it will so you'll start off with a few letters, and you'll get those letters right before it lets you move on to the next lesson.
I see. Okay.
And then I think this one gives you games at the end. I'm sorry, because like I say, I haven't actually done this one, but ones I've done in the past will give you a little game at the end, just to test your knowledge and put a bit of fun in there.
Yeah. So if you type a letter, it tells you what letter you've typed.
Yes,
then.
the keyboard when you type. Yes.
Clever keyboard that is.
Yeah.
Tells you what it's doing.
It's the
program tells you what the keyboard is doing.
Yes. Yeah. And every time you press a key, it will tell you what the letter is. So if you've got it wrong, at least you know.
Sure.
You've got.
Right away. Wrong. Yeah. That's very, very cool. IT classes. So her classes are full at the moment. So once she finishes, is it like a 3 weeks or a 4 week? How does that work?
We carry on with the people within the class until they finish the program and they're comfortable that they can touch type.
Gotcha.
So that can take quite a while.
Sure. Yeah.
And that they're not rushed at all.
Absolutely.
So the next group that's coming up, because we've got people on the waiting list. So the next group that's coming up. So I think we really realistically we can fit 5 in a session.
Yeah.
And we just need to, Phyllis and I just need to get together to work out the next 5. I know already it's nearly full on that.
Gotcha.
And then we offer one-to-ones, and there's some other software that I'm looking to get in and set up on some computers, which is screen readers, so Zoom Text and Supernova, and there's another one that's so completely gone out my mind now, because I need to remember. But anyway, there's 3 that I rate quite highly.
Sure.
And I know there's others out there, but there's those 3 that I've used in the past. So I will be bringing those in shortly. Sweet.
Yeah, sweet.
So that people can at least have a go and then decide on which screen reader works best for them.
So the family support group is for families that are dealing with a relative with sight loss then, and so lots of times that family is in a caregiving position too, so it's good for them, or even if they're not.
Both, but even if they're not.
Gotcha.
I knew that this group would be important because I set something very similar in the past.
Gotcha.
And I knew the joy of it.
Sure.
But I didn't expect it to gel so quickly.
Got you.
On the first
meeting.
The first meeting, it
Sure.
was really lovely.
Okay, so families getting to know each other and supporting each other in the challenges of having relatives with sight loss.
Yes, and
awesome.
having some. They share experiences, but I can also give some hints and tips as well.
Sure.
And because originally I was thinking, well, I would just introduce them and I would walk away and let them have their space.
Get sorted, yeah.
Actually, it was really beneficial me being there.
And being interactive, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it'd be. But we've got some other ideas in the pipeline with that for our clients and the family members. It may be there's no maybe about it for our clients, but in finding a counsellor that we can work on a one-to-one with our clients as well. Mm-hmm. We really would like to get that set up as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. But also then if we could have a counsellor maybe sitting in on those sessions, because I don't really necessarily know the right questions to ask.
Sure,
I know
to
that
resolve
our first
things
month was really good, but and I could help them in that way. But it would be really nice for them to be able to maybe go away with a question or something.
Sure, and have some input from a professional.
But also sharing experiences on how they're coping with supporting somebody now that's, I don't know, in the kitchen, for example, and they think, well, they're not really safe in the kitchen.
Sure.
But the client wants to be in the kitchen, and
how to navigate that. The dynamic of whether you're a parent or grandparent or aunt or whoever it is or uncle. You should be allowed to still do what he feels to do in his own home or her home, and that can get a little prickly within families. So understandably, it would be good to have some professional support there. But the social groups for your clients seem to be just a huge happy inducer for folks with sight loss to know that they can relate and they get on their WhatsApp chat groups and their iPhone chat groups and stuff, right? That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Yes, they've...
I'm sure brought a smile to your face.
They're flying.
Times,
and that's exactly what I wanted.
Sure, because,
it's really good.
They provide, really good. Opportunities to learn new skills. But the social interaction is so important for the mental health of folks who now have darkness as a regular thing, and to create friendships. And
to become mentors for one another.
Exactly.
I have a wonderful client that I know will be listening, so she knows exactly who I'm talking about. I can hear her laughing right now.
I can hear her laughing.
She's an incredible mentor because of from when I first met her to what she's doing now. When I first met her, she was living with family, and now she's living on her own.
Wow,
and
awesome.
She's completely independent. There are a few things, as she knows, that can be touched up on. But she's amazing,
That's
and
great.
to have her speak to somebody who's in a position that she was in originally is amazing, because she has so much insight.
She has the hope, for anyone who I think
awareness.
is dealt even with an illness and someone who has come out from it, to have that person, standing upright, walking and talking is a great help to anyone with anything going on like that, any type of health issues. And of course, sight loss is a huge one. So you got plans for new stuff coming up too?
I do, yes. First of all, of course, we have to do Introduction to Braille. I think what surprises people is that they don't realise how difficult Braille is to learn.
Yeah,
so
it's a lot.
I'm going to put on a few classes of introduction, because when we get to, I don't know, teenagers really, the tips of our fingers, I'm not saying it can't be done, but the tips of our fingers can become tougher.
Not as sensitive
then
to...
feeling the Braille.
Sure.
So I start off with an egg box with 6 ping pong balls in, and cut an egg, and 12 into half.
Sure.
And then we start doing the alphabet with the ping pong balls in the way that the cells go.
Sure.
I won't go into explaining all that right now, because that's quite complicated.
Sure.
Because I was about to go into it, but it's, But so I'm doing an introduction to Braille, and there'll be some games and things with that. We don't have anybody on island that creates Braille, so if you want a Braille book or anything like that, you have to send away for it.
Gotcha. Uh-huh.
And I know of somebody who did send away for it. It was a textbook for school, and it came back double-sided. The page was Braille on one side and then Braille on the other side, and that can be even more difficult to read.
Yeah,
because of by feel, because of the
it's indentations and raises and little points that you have to memorize. Just a quick one though: is it almost like in certain languages, certain symbols mean a whole word?
Yes,
got you. Because there's no way you could spell out each letter in Braille and try to read. You know what I mean?
That's easier to read, but huge. They would be huge.
Got you. Yeah. Got
so
you.
You start off learning the alphabet and a few of the punctuations.
Sure.
And a couple of the short forms, contractions they're called. Mm-hmm. But after that, you go into grade 2 Braille, and then there's lots of different connotations for
the actual words and the phrases that you're
and
reading.
Depending where they are in the cell, it can be exactly. For example, if you had a D shape in the top half of the cell and the D shape in the bottom half of the cell, they're two different words.
Gotcha.
So you have to know.
Sure.
That you're on the top and be able to indicate that you're on the top of the cell.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it can be quite complicated, but
you're going to get her done.
To learn
Teresa's going to get her done, folks. Self-defense training, I can imagine. There's some sort of specific or specialized things for folks with sight loss.
Yes, I'm just trying to get that set up now. That's the next one that I really want to get going. So if anybody knows of anyone who would be able to support us with giving some self-defense lessons, classes to my clients, I would be very grateful if you got in touch.
Gotcha.
3231.
Yeah, 292.
I was meaning to ring the police and to see what they can
provide.
I've rung the number a few times and then got distracted and had to put the phone down because something else has come up. So, but this is something I really want to get organised by the end of the week. And then the lovely knit and natter.
Yeah, that sounded great the few times you've done that, and you've gotten folks who are really quite skilled, yeah?
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
Amazing. Yeah.
So what I would really love on this is I would love to have a volunteer who would be happy to come along and help me or teach me how to alter the mistakes.
Right.
So that people that are doing the knitting and don't feel, I've just made a mistake halfway down. Yeah. I know there's different techniques you can do to rectify the mistakes without having to unpick everything.
Gotcha.
I would love somebody to either support me with it, run it.
Are we talking knitting and crochet, Teresa, that you're looking for?
Knitting and crocheting, if that can work, if that's feasible. But not. I've even tried to start learning to knit, but I'm not doing that well. I mean, yes, I can knit tidily myself, but whenever I go wrong, it takes me forever to put it right. So
got you, yeah. Someone with a little more skill set there, yeah. Now, when it comes to games afternoons, are we talking? Because even folks with sight loss can, do things like play checkers and stuff like that. Because of course you can feel where the things are
equipment there
on the board. What other sort of games and stuff? And is it about group games or interactive things, or are there things like where you can throw something and it'll tell you if you've hit the target and things like that? That's kind of cool.
There are, there's lots of different activities along with the games.
Sure.
So what I want to do is start the group coming along, because we've got Scrabble and checkers and what else have we got? We've got quite a few low vision games, large print, that type of thing. But I still feel that we can still involve everybody. We just have to find a way around it. I mean, that's my motto, really. We can still do it. We just have to find a way. Yeah. And find out what they would like to play.
Yeah.
And that group then, for example, if it was a mahjong group or a card group.
Dominoes,
Dominoes, yes, because cards have got Braille on the sides. And I've got some large print cards as well. So we just need to find a way, but I want to get that set up in the next couple of weeks, the games afternoon. So
you're talking about like one afternoon a month or once a week, or what are you thinking about?
I think everything that I would like to bring and offer is going to have to start off once a month. But after that, and finding out what clients want,
Sure,
of course, because I might have all these ideas, but if clients don't really want to do that or don't find it fun, then what's the point? This is for them.
So we have a few introductory ones and see where it goes from there. Yeah. Now, guiding skills we've talked about before on the program, Theresa, and how important it is for someone who is blind to have the right guide, to be guided correctly, I guess is the way I'm putting that.
Right,
so this is what you're teaching to family, friends, and support folk with vision loss clients?
Yes, so there is a technique to walk with somebody instead of them hooking into your arm or holding your shoulder. That's a plug to another one of my clients, naughty, holding the shoulder, or I've completely gone off.
Sure.
Yeah, but anyway, there's different techniques to be able to support somebody. So it's going through doors, getting to the car, up and down steps.
Up and down stairs, I would think.
Yes.
And it is mostly a matter of speech, what you tell them, What you tell them, but also it's a technique that you can, once you know the technique between you, you can do it without speaking. So, for example, if I was in a shop and there was a lot of tight spaces and a lot of people in the shop, or clothes everywhere, you can't get through properly, then the guide would bring their arm behind them. Sure.
And the person who is being guided runs their hand down the arm to the wrist.
Sure.
And then they know to tuck in behind you.
Sure.
And you don't have to say tight space.
Sure.
It's just a particular technique. And then you bring your arm out. The guide brings the arm out.
Sure.
And the one that's being guided then just
knows
moves
they
back
can
into
walk
position.
side by side again.
Yes, there's lots of really useful tips like that. Yes, of course, when you're guiding, you would still say up or down a step, or the paving's a bit
it's a bit rough here, or we're going to turn left in a couple of seconds. And anyway, good to know, and watch the footing here, that type of thing, slight slope, that type of stuff.
Yes.
Now, you've talked a lot about iPhones and the amazing stuff for vision loss that particularly iPhone has gotten for a lot of your clients, and of course iPads are like the same. So those classes will be happening again. Yeah.
Yes, and again, I would like some volunteers, please, because from experience, when you're teaching one-to-one or a group with the iPhone and the iPad, everybody has different, their phones just seem to be different. It's quite remarkable. They can still be iPhones, but they're
depending on which model and number, there are things that are different as far as accessing what the phone does.
And one person might be able to locate WhatsApp very easily, for example, but the other person can't find WhatsApp, isn't quite touching the pad with VoiceOver properly to locate it. So doing that in a group environment can be tricky.
Sure.
But having 2 or 3 maybe, but a big group. Yeah. So again,
I think maybe we'd like to reach out to folks who are working in phone sales here with any of the vendors out there that do great stuff. Perhaps the staff in there that has to teach every person that gets a new phone, let's do this, this, and this, might be able to put a bit of time in, here and there, or teach someone else how to do it, but to come along and show you and show other staff members the best way, whether it's which series of the phone it is, whether it's the big one or the small one, because oftentimes there are 2 sizes, and which iteration of iPad it is as well. So we're reaching out specifically to those folks that are in retail for phone sales. This might be a great thing for you, a way for you to help.
It would.
We really appreciate it.
Fantastic. Because at the end of the day, if you're not frightened of technology,
it can really helpful.
It.
Yeah,
because
it can really
before
be helpful.
I came here, I worked for a big charity in the UK.
Sure.
And we had an IT department, so I hadn't taught the iPhone for 4 years. But I love technology, and so we just learnt together, my different clients and myself. So I can teach a little bit quicker now because I think, that didn't work. Well, I'll try this. Oh, that's worked. And then I'll show my client because it's amazing how even just making or answering a phone call, 1 minute the phone call will come in and it takes up the whole screen, and the next minute the phone call will come in and it's a banner at the top.
Sure, got you. Yeah.
And for clients not to be to get frustrated or panicked because a call's coming in and they can't answer it. In fact, you can even say to Siri now, answer call.
Sure.
And one of my clients just says hello when it rings and it answers. I mean, it's amazing. So yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. No, we really talked almost all our time away, Theresa. So we got once we get those peer support groups, is great. Almost along like the social gatherings. That's great. I think
I think if I just quickly mention moving on, which is I want to call it something different, but moving on is what I called it in another job. It's a 6-week course, and it will be weekly.
Sure.
Where you can come along when you're new to sight loss. So, for example, you've been put on my wait list, and you're not going to see me for a couple of months. So you can come along to this group, and within each week you'll learn something different just while you're waiting for rehab.
Gotcha.
So the first week will be a social, getting to know you, emotional support type group.
Sure.
And then we'll look at some independent living skills. We'll also talk about experiences, where a safe space where people can talk about different experiences. We're going to look obviously at guiding skills, because once a person with vision loss understands guiding skills, they can teach that to their loved ones and
whoever's
friends
helping them.
And feel a bit more in control
when
they're being guided. We'll have safety tips and technology. We'll have all sorts of different. I was thinking that I would actually try and get a speaker in as well to talk about something each week.
Oh yeah.
And just to raise awareness. So my clients that I've already seen, of course, are going to be welcome on within this 6-week
within the group. Yeah.
But with the intention at the I don't know, in a year or so's time, when people have caught up and I've caught up, that it's then for new people, so that they don't feel, or even somebody. I had a client recently who is new to sight loss but not quite ready for vision rehab.
Gotcha.
But then they've got somewhere they can come, talk to others.
Sure.
So it's just trying to think outside the box to include everybody.
For sure. Yeah, it's just, I think it seems like, with Beacon House being open now, we're going to have much, much more with our monthly chats to fill people in with. And, we're hoping to maintain some independence, allow clients to maintain some independence and, paying bills, ordering food, access to, to TV, although, of course, they're not watching, they're listening, talking books, of course, and various other things, and how to make audio and video calls even. So all of this happening now, once again at Beacon House, the wonderful facility that Theresa has so patiently, 4 years, pushed that piece of string along until it's all doing what it's supposed to do now. And what a wonderful, wonderful things are happening for all of our folks in Bermuda, again, who struggle with sight loss and are becoming just, more fulfilled, happy, employed, all of the above. Yes. All these things are happening because Beacon House is doing what it's doing. So once again, we invite folks to call. If you can help with any of the things Theresa mentioned today, you need to call
292-3231.
Yep, and then volunteer at
visionbermuda.bm.
There you go. And you can ask any questions about what we've chatted about today. We look forward to the next one, Theresa. Once a month here, tune in to our Vision Talk program. We want you to enjoy the rest of your vacay, even though you came up here to chat with us today. She's had her family down and several of her closest friends. No, it's just she's got a house full, which is great, and we love it when folks come to visit. So thanks for taking a little time with us today, Theresa. We have such a good time. Appreciate you. Thanks, sweetheart. Can't say you didn't know, folks, because we just told you all about it right here on Ocean 89.